What is up, y'all? Welcome to the 11 Deep Dawgcast.
He might not have stuck around at the song, but he sure almost stuck around in Georgia.
That's right. Oh my God. So a wild week. We're going to be a little unorthodox. Obviously, I'm not in my office in the studio, but we got King's Advisors over here to help us get through the games. And boy, there's some interesting shit to talk about. And
you got that. You got that.
Yeah.
Right.
Quite a few upsets today. Not quite as many as I would like, but
a couple more that should have happened.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been a wild weekend. I guess honestly, first off, how weird was it that the Egg Bowl wasn't on Thanksgiving? That was a bit disappointing.
So I'll be honest, I could have sworn that the last 2 years it wasn't on Thanksgiving. But no, I was quickly corrected by everyone that I mentioned that to.
Yeah.
So my bad. But yeah.
No, it's I think 2008 was the last time it was not on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I mean, it's different for me because like I've said on here many times, I don't watch every single game. I watch my game because I am a South Carolina fan. I'm not gonna sit there and watch Clemson play or Ole Miss play. I don't really care about Ole Miss.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I hate to see stuff like that bypassed for money, which is usually the reason things like that change.
Yep. That typically is kind of what drives those. But nonetheless, a very intriguing weekend. I know you probably didn't watch it, but you're probably well aware of it. Obviously, the Georgia game, and there's things to be said about it.
I watched I think I watched half of the Georgia game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully the second half.
So
okay, well, good.
Are you talking about the second half? Or are you talking about half of the fourth quarter where Georgia decided to actually play some football?
Yeah, correct. Yes, that one. Watching first half of Georgia games is not worth your money this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's I mean, unless you're paying it directly to your doctor for your heart medication.
Well, dude, welcome to the club. We've been cardiac talks have been a thing for a long time.
100%, man. It's bro, it was not the funnest game to watch, but my perspective of this Georgia team, especially now, late in the year, now I pretty much kind of know who they are.
Yeah.
But losing is very much so on the table, where before it was inconceivable for Georgia to lose. But now
this Georgia team genuinely, and I like to dog on Georgia because, for the last as good as Georgia is consistently and as okay as South Carolina has been consistently,
right?
That is a rivalry for go back the last 20 years. You go back for the average amount of time that the average fan remembers, and it is I honestly I think it's almost even. Georgia might have the layup 12-8 or 11-9, but it is genuinely a rivalry. It's not, to quote that dumbass coach from the upstate, it's not a oh shit, what did he used to say? I don't know. He was talking about our rivalry where he's like, it's not really a rivalry. It's but you have to take 30 of your wins from before electricity was common.
Right.
So
right.
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've been afraid of Georgia teams. I would not be afraid of this Georgia team.
No. And you really shouldn't be. Although we do have the ability to win games, and we've done that, and sometimes in fashion that we didn't expect. I mean, you even look back. Georgia and South Carolina have something in common against Ole Miss, but even for our Alabama game, as bad as we played in the first half, we had a chance to actually win that game against all odds, coming back 28-0. And South Carolina also had a chance to win their game. You didn't have to chase down a gigantic deficit to do so.
That's true. Yeah.
You at least played the game most of the game. But this Georgia team, man, if we go the distance, I'll obviously be excited and I'll celebrate that. But I know that there's a very realistic expectation that we could lose to anyone. I mean, hell, we almost lost to Georgia Tech, and there for a minute it was like a coin toss on who was going to get the 2-point conversion. We went 8 overtimes.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this overtime shit. I'm getting real fucking sick and tired of this 2-point conversion rule. It's in my opinion, it's worse than the NFL's overtime rules now.
I disagree because at least both teams get a shot, but I do not like it because it's coming down to whatever your best play that you could whip up. You have one try to get into the end zone, and that's it. I understand the mindset of it, but I think of a full set of downs, near the goal line, that just your standard, the way it was before Texas A&M and LSU ruined it for everyone. And I see Brisket in the Biscuit here. What's up, buddy? Matt Dwayne, he's in the comments too.
Yeah, Matt Dwayne's been up for a very long time, so he's getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah,
a little bit of a loser there, but okay. He's older than us, so he needs to sleep.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear.
Well,
I'm not gonna hear the end of that.
He had a little bit of stress today for his game too. Now,
Vanderbilt.
They started out getting their ass whooped by Vandy, and then they turned it on, and Vandy couldn't do nothing about it. So,
Matt, as long as you got a couple of those ducks, that's fine. Chase you want, just make sure you get at least one of them.
Hell yeah!
Football this entire weekend has been drunk.
Yes,
like it has been wild.
Yeah, it's been unhinged. You even have brawls breaking out in multiple fights.
Oh,
what's up,
dude.
Donna? How you doing, girl?
So Deborah, not Donna.
Deborah, sorry. Oh my God, I'm not gonna live that one down.
He can't read.
Yeah.
So, all right, we've seen this kind of becoming more and more and more and more. But ever since Baker Mayfield planted that Oklahoma flag at was it the Texas?
Yeah, it was Texas.
Yeah, the Texas 50-yard line on the horns. We've had more and more players starting to do that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think you got to do. I go back to what James Franklin said to his players when they tried to do that against whoever it was in like week 5.
Right.
We're not about that. That's not who we are. And I think the more that you take that was a cool moment.
Yeah.
Because of because Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was fun to watch. It was cool. But every time you try to recreate that, all you do is you piss off the other team.
Right.
You start and look, I don't give a shit about Clemson. I am fucking ecstatic that we beat them. I don't care about their feelings.
Bravo.
I don't want any of that shit. But I'll tell you what I don't want is I don't want to give them fodder for next season.
Right.
And that kind of shit gives teams fodder. Just like I know next year they're going to come into our house and kick our ass because we had a bunch of fans on the field whipping their logo.
maybe. I think y'all could get them next year too. I'll get ahead of the skis.
Let's go.
You got their number now. But no,
my God, it tastes so good.
That was incredible. And the way, honestly, because I had the 4 screen up and I was watching it and the Michigan Ohio State.
Cool thing.
They ended like the same way. Incredible.
I might actually get the YouTube TV next year to do that.
Dude, I love it. It's so much fun.
You
can watch all 4 games, keep an eye on them, and change what volume it is.
Now, what I would prefer is if I could pick that game, and that game.
Yeah,
having their presets.
Surely that's to come. I'm sure they're hearing that feedback everywhere.
Yeah, it's absolutely got to be.
Yeah, but it's really cool. It's really a nice way to watch the games that you don't necessarily care about wholeheartedly. So you could just throw them all up there.
Well, and then it also helps you, see things. I love. Oh, remember like I think it was this season. It might have been like week 2. It's either this season or the end of last season. I texted you about a play on like the Temple game. And I was like, dude, go watch this. Watch number 13. This guy is going to be playing for like Georgia or Alabama next year. You remember that?
Briefly, I don't remember the play.
Yeah. So it ended up being a pick 6, but so the quarterback throws it. His guy gets picked off, and instead of sulking and being pissed off, he chases him down.
Right.
And actually, it wasn't a pick 6. He stopped the pick 6.
Right.
But it was just, it reminded me of that Patriots play. Any Patriots fan will know the one I'm talking about. But there's a play with the Patriots where big dude chased down, probably, he was on the other corner, so probably 130 yards to stop a pick 6. Yep, Ben Watson. There you go, Matt.
I know who that is.
Yeah, that play. Yeah. So it reminded me of that. It's like, dude, that guy's gonna go be playing for.
we did.
Yeah,
indeed, we
did. Yeah, they fucking did. From fucking Lenora Sellers. Drop yo nuts.
The interception though to seal the deal, and being able to see that, and Michigan getting their interception. It almost back to back to each other. That was fantastic. That was super cool. I mean, on top of those, you had Miami losing to Syracuse, and we had yet another field storming, which is I'd say far too common this year. But
Miami, number 5 in the country,
6
of the country, to Syracuse, and Syracuse was like 8-4, weren't they, or 8-3 at the time?
I'm not certain, but I know not only did they hurt Miami's playoff chances, they also knocked them away from the ACC championship game.
So Syracuse was 8-3. You're beating a 9-1 team. Yeah. It's
not saying I don't.
I get it.
I don't see why you would want to.
Mm-hmm.
I see the why, but field storming should be reserved for like the just absolutely most special.
It is also different in the ACC. Remember, in the ACC, they don't get fined; they can do that. So they do actually go into the field after every game.
Yeah.
In the SEC, we get fined, so we don't do it.
Do you agree with the fine? I don't like the fine.
I don't think it should go to the other team. I think it should go to. I do agree with the fine. I think it's one of the things that keeps you from storming the field. I also think it's one of the things that makes it unique.
Fans don't give a shit.
I mean, they do. Yeah, you don't hear anyone sitting down there going, no, don't do it. We'll get fined. Don't do it.
Right.
You don't hear that. But I think it's one of the things that helps the school
keeps it in check.
Yeah, the school does what it can to help keep it in check.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it doubles every time. So, and I heard someone said that it keeps doubling no matter what. So, like, it doesn't reset the next year. But that's not possible. Otherwise, I mean, we'd be at 1.8 million for South Carolina.
Right.
And we're not.
Yep. And Deborah's got a good point there. Texas beat the Aggies. That's what I was watching before I called Caleb and told him to whip this stream up for me.
So I have a question then. Deborah says beat them bad. Someone else said, I think, not. Jeremy said not surprised.
So Jeremy wasn't surprised that Texas beat them, but
17-7.
Yeah, twice in the red zone, Texas turned it over, and A&M got one pick six out of it. The other time, nothing. And then a blocked punt for nothing as well. So a lot of momentum was stolen from Texas, so that prevented points, but A&M was not able to capitalize either.
Yeah, let's look at this. Is one of those examples where the color of the teams really makes these stat slide bars on Google really pop. So let's look at this real quick, because this is let's see, where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah.
And see, it's a shame too, because A&M came out the gate just fucking kicking ass, but it ended up with nothing. They went for it on fourth, turned it over on downs. They did it again later. They just couldn't capitalize. Yeah. They had the ability, but couldn't get there. But that sets the table now for
Texas, Georgia.
Yep.
SEC championship game, which
rematch.
Sorry to say, buddy. Sorry to say. I think Texas is going to whoop your ass.
Good for you, but we'll see what happens. I think a smart bet would be Georgia's going to start off looking like shit, and then all of a sudden we'll have a ball game, and we'll see what happens.
Well, let's see. Who has Texas played this season?
The Florida win looks better and better.
Oh, I don't even care about that.
Yeah.
Colorado State.
Yeah.
Michigan. That's LA Monroe, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and A&M. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that we played. Georgia has played.
We played Clemson.
1, 2, 3.
Kentucky.
4. 4 teams that we played as well.
Yeah.
So you beat 3 of them. You lost to Ole Miss, just like we did. So I think South Carolina needs. I think we need Georgia to win that game, because we've lost the same team.
I'm curious where you shake out now. Now that Miami has suffered a loss, Ohio State. Also, let's talk about the brawl.
Does so yes.
Does that have any ramifications to it? So, is there any talk of that yet, or what?
I haven't checked, but let's look at this. Not that. There's this. So this is the best video that I've seen of the entire thing. It's about 2.5 minutes.
Right. So the brawl was already happening before the flag got planted, too.
Yeah. So this
guy just came over with a bucket of gasoline. And
yeah, this is like the second part of it.
Yeah. Yep.
I love how the camera dude just like, okay, wait, what?
Yep.
Because a lot of the video we've seen doesn't look that bad. This is terrible.
Yeah. I've seen quite a few where 2 helmets came off and they were actually throwing hands.
But like, this is the whole fucking team.
Yeah. Hang on, let me stoke this down.
Hey, Joey.
Okay. Whoa. We got some gamer words going on there. Oh boy.
Add a buff out. Yeah, they even maced some people too.
Yeah, watch. And this is why I think someone's getting in trouble. Because
Are there fans out there too?
Yeah, probably on the peripheral. Police are now involved.
Yep. Mason. Yep.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. Look at the stupid. Look at this idiot. Sprays the mace back onto himself.
Get back!
He threw his hat.
Wow.
So there's a couple of thoughts I have from this. One of the thoughts I have is look at the
guy
cops.
pepper spraying himself.
Yeah. Look at the cops. Okay. You assume those cops are like normal sized human beings.
Yeah.
And then look at the D1 athletes next to them. Obviously, they're all wearing like cleats, which give you maybe another inch or two. But like,
right.
These fucking football players are fucking big dudes.
Uh-huh.
Like you already knew it, but it was like, whoa. But this shit,
I will say they have a gigantic presence out there, though.
Yeah.
They were stacked for it.
This crap is, I think, could get Ohio State banned from the playoffs.
Which would certainly open the door for a team like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So honestly, like South Carolina's kind of hoping for that.
Right.
But
I mean, them losing helps you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ohio State has lost 2 games. They don't even get to play for their championship now. I think they're out. I think they have to be out.
Who's now in the Big Ten championship?
It's Oregon and Indiana now.
Indiana.
Yeah.
So if Indiana loses again, then there goes an extra spot too.
Probably.
I would assume.
I think it's more likely that the committee goes, you know what? You have a 1-loss team who lost in their conference championship. I think that is
but they also lost to Ohio State, and there's teams that are playing better football than they are now. Especially if they just get ran through like a white girl at a and just we'll hit the brakes on that one.
Yeah,
but
let's get about 10-15% off there, Squirrely.
Yeah, yes, indeed. But no, if they just get absolutely obliterated by Oregon and just shown to be silly, then I don't know. I think Brad's right. Big Ten is Oregon and Penn State.
Oh,
wait,
is it
are
Penn
you
State?
saying that's for the championship? They should have it set already, right?
Yeah, it's set. It's
Oh, yep. Brad's saying that is. So it's Oregon, Penn State.
Yeah, because Penn State has the tiebreaker for Indiana, don't they?
So if Penn State loses, that would be their 3rd loss, correct? Or only 2nd?
So I went back to the SEC. Big Ten, Indiana, and Penn State are both 11-1.
Okay, so that would be their second loss. Huh. Kind of similar boat, but I could see excluding. Well, I mean that's not possible now. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, honestly, I think this has been the best. Ohio State losing has been the best thing for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Because now you've got two other teams that have a good enough argument that you can't just completely overlook them. If Ohio State had won, it would have been Oregon against Ohio State. And you assume most likely that Oregon beats Ohio State. You can sit there and say, well, Penn State, nice try, but you've got one decent competition this season, and you lost them. And they just lost to the champion. So,
yeah.
But now you've got a decent argument for 3 or 4 teams in the Big Ten. But, that Ohio State has to win. If Ohio State loses, they're out. They're completely out of the playoffs. There's no fucking way you put a 3-loss Big Ten team in the playoffs.
Right. Notre Dame needed to lose to get a 3-loss.
So I see what you're saying there. I do, my friend. But I think there's more than one way for a 3-loss team to get in. And I'm not even talking about just South Carolina. Like, let's say Ohio State was a 3-loss team, but they had just come off, 3 games in a row of crushing people. They're always going to want to put Alabama in. There are other ways for a 3-loss team to go in.
Well, certainly y'all knocking Clemson down helped significantly because that was Clemson's 3rd loss, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And look, honestly, South Carolina really wants Clemson. Well, South Carolina would not be angry at the world if Clemson beat SMU. Because that puts Clemson.
Is Clemson going to the ACC?
Yeah, Miami lost.
Okay, so it's Clemson.
Clemson's the 2 seed. So SMU versus Miami, or SMU versus Clemson. If Clemson beats SMU, SMU is probably out. And Clemson is
where is SMU ranked now?
Like 11.
Oh.
In fact, 9. Sorry, they're ranked 9. So yeah, I think they'd be out. And so if Clemson wins, South Carolina has a win over the ACC champion. It's one of the reasons why South Carolina probably wanted A&M to win that game today, and then to beat Georgia, because we would have had a win over the ACC and the SEC.
Yeah, winners. Plus knocking, making Texas more questionable would be helpful as well. The more question marks next to teams with multiple losses you can have, the better for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you?
So is Miami out now? Do we think or no?
Out. I think it. So I made this argument to Brad earlier about Ohio State, and I think I added to Miami that it will depend on who wins next week. So I think you're going to see Miami and Ohio State fall significantly, but stay inside that 11-team zone. And then depending on who wins next week, they will decide whether or not they're going to finish the punishment of Miami and Ohio State. So I think Ohio State's going to get punished. Just like I think Georgia's going to get punished. I don't think Georgia's going to move at all. I think they're going to leave them at 7.
No. Yeah.
And that's going to be their punishment for not beating Georgia Tech by a lot. So I think Ohio State falls to like 7 or 8. And then depending on how everything works out next week, they'll decide, does Ohio State need to fall further and not get the home field advantage because of how poorly they played against Michigan? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think they'll do the same thing with Miami. that Miami will drop to like 10 or 11. And then after next weekend, they'll go, okay, is Miami out, or do we want to leave them in? But I'll tell you right now, I think we wake up on I think I wake up Tuesday night, and I think South Carolina is going to be ranked at 12.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
Boise State got theirs done, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they're still sitting there. Huh.
God, and I tell you, I was listening to Brad watch the Notre Dame game, and it is so sad that it's 2 99-yard pick sixes. Technically it's 3 99-yard pick sixes that could keep South Carolina out of the playoffs. 2 of them were on November 30th in Southern California, and one of them was back in September in Columbia, South Carolina. Fuck you, SEC officiating.
Right.
You make a playoff move, you're a fucking player. A football move.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah. But so we didn't really talk about your game. A lot, at least. What was some stuff you saw during your game that you liked?
That I liked?
Sorry, but hang on. Buddy, brisket, I love you, man. But that's dead wrong.
Yeah.
South Carolina hasn't lost in 6 weeks. Bama lost to one of the worst SEC teams 2 weeks ago by less than we beat that team 4 weeks ago. And Ole Miss barely beat the worst team in the SEC and then got railroaded by the third worst team in the SEC. Ole Miss and Bama are out. South Carolina hasn't lost a game in 6 weeks. We've beaten 4 back-to-back top 25 teams. We have crushed the hopes of 2 playoff contenders. It's over. If a 3-loss team is getting into the playoffs, it's the University of South Carolina.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Ole Miss losing to Kentucky as well is really going to hurt them. Obviously, their loss to Florida is going to destroy them too. I don't think there's any world. I mean, no, even with the championship games, I don't think Bama or Ole Miss is a serious contender to get in. I really just don't think so.
I think Bama needed more. And see, I mean, I've got the SEC rankings pulled up next to me right now. And
I think Texas. I think South Carolina has better wins, although both of them do have a win over Georgia, which is a decent win. But is it though? Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Y'all just beat a pretty good Clemson team, and yeah, I don't.
So risk it. Like, look, I completely agree with you. If one of those games had been in the last 4 or 5 weeks, but you're talking about September football, and I think how you're playing right now should factor. Should it factor 80 or 90%? Absolutely not. But it should be a factor. If you had Oregon, okay, Oregon is 12-0, but they've won the last 4 games by a field goal because they've been letting people just catch up and just dominate them in the second half. They're not. I don't think the committee puts them at number 1.
Right.
Now, do they still get a bye? Probably. Do they? Especially since they probably go win the Big Ten championship. But I think how you're playing has to matter.
Yeah.
Because again, if it didn't matter, then why do we play the game?
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to those losses. They're just they're unforgivable losses.
That was a good. I'm going to need 35 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay. I just
Oh,
have
you're gonna want to clip that?
The way I said it, I think
Yeah.
was beautiful. It was poetic.
Yep. Once
Yeah,
you're finished patting yourself on the back, risk it.
absolutely biscuit. The complete gateway. They really it's. I mean, at the end of the day, one of the decisions they're going to make is how will we. Is putting this team in going to make us money via the TV? Are people going to watch this team? And that's why if Alabama could get in, I think they would put them in. But I don't think you can legitimately have an argument for Alabama over Ole Miss or South Carolina.
I'm sure they're going to try, but
yeah. But I think the only three-loss team with a legitimate argument right now is South Carolina.
Yep.
And obviously, I'm a South Carolina fan. Obviously, it's a biased opinion, but I think it's a relatively fair opinion.
Yeah, I don't think you're saying anything crazy. It's just, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously we'll see what happens, but some cards did fall to really help that. And I get what Brad's saying too. Notre Dame needed to lose for any three-loss team to get in, but I think we could seriously I think the committee can seriously think long and hard about Indiana and the kind of like how they did Florida State last year. Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah, you made it this far, but you're not good. You're just not good. You're gonna be
sorry, I'm delayed here.
You're gonna be an easy buy, and yeah.
I don't know where your things are as well as I know where mine are.
They're over there.
Oh my god, that was terrible.
He's looking for a clip.
There we go.
What do you think, Antonio?
Good.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Sorry. So obviously one of the beautiful things about when teams like Ohio State lose is we get gems like this. That's GYM.
Oh.
Sorry, GEM, not JIM.
I see.
How we looking, Coach? It's looking great. Your turn, brother. Thanks, Coach.
Remember that? Remember when they did that stupid little handoff thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the game that Ryan Day started playing.
Driving the bus off the cliff. Wow. Bro, the internet is undefeated. That's fucking funny.
One of the ones that I want to do is I want to get a compilation of Sellers is just teleporting.
Yeah.
With the scene from Breaking Bad. He can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Brad's saying the playoff format will not continue past 2026. I think you're right because I think there's going to be a real issue with the automatic bid thing.
Absolutely.
And I see their point with it. But it's just going to make it honestly, they're going to come out with the rankings and it will all completely fucking change after the championship week.
So here's my question for you. Okay. Should the conference championship matter?
Yeah.
So then the way you do this is you remove the bias of the champion, the automatic bid. Remove the automatic bid, and you got it. Top 4 teams get the bye. That's it. Not the top 4 conference champions. The top 4 teams get the bye.
Right.
You rewind it. You do. You remember why the Big Ten started a championship game?
I'm okay with the conference champions getting a bye. I don't care where they ranked, but Like it.
No, dude. If you give the conference champions a bye, you could have a number 10 BYU getting a bye. They shouldn't get a bye.
But they played an extra game, so
just
they
because
should.
they won the thing. No. You start because the playoffs already start a week later. Everyone gets
Still,
time off.
you played one extra game. I think that's counts for something.
No. And you start everything the week after the Army-Navy game, which is when everything starts now.
Yeah.
And so everyone's got at least 2 weeks to get healthy, revitalize, everything. Some people have got 3 weeks, sure. But theoretically, those teams are not as good as the teams that have 2 weeks.
Perhaps.
So it doesn't matter. It's a push at best.
Yeah. Well, my thing is getting away from the automatic bid. So I'm okay with getting the bye, but if you're not good enough, even though you won your conference championship, if you're not good enough to be in the playoff, then it's irrelevant. It's just like it kind of was for the 4-team playoff.
Right.
You got in there or you didn't.
But what you said doesn't match up with what you were saying. So
my only thing is I agree with this extended playoff that those teams that did win their championship do get a bye, but don't get an automatic bid. So if they've earned a spot within the top 12 and they win their game, they do get a bid. Or not a bid. Fuck me.
So
they do get a bye.
So Georgia wins the SEC, and they end when everything's settled. They're the number 7 team in the top 12. They get a bye.
Yeah.
The number 7. How do you lay out that playoff map?
Yeah, it's a little convoluted.
You don't. That's not. No one does it that way.
Yeah.
So no, that's not how you do it. The number 4 teams after championship week get automatic buys. The winning the championship game is taken into consideration. It's why you try to go win the championship. It's why you take that dumbass at Ole Miss and tell them to shut the fuck up.
Right.
So that you want to go to Atlanta. You want to go to Charlotte. You want to go to wherever the fuck the Big Ten plays theirs. So that you have a reason to go. And it's why the Big Ten started a championship game. So that they have that 13th game to argue for whether or not they should be in the playoffs.
We need a wild card race. Jesus.
Oh my God. No, fuck that shit.
Yeah. Isn't that what the group of 5 is?
Wild cards.
That's the group of 5.
yeah, it is. That's what fucking what you call it is.
Although honestly, they should have their own national championship and just leave us alone.
Yeah. So speaking of Notre Dame, did anybody see this? Let's watch that again. Let's full screen this bitch.
Yeah, full screen it, please. Ow.
First off, I have never punched a football helmet. But my question would be that would hurt him a lot more than it would the Southern Cal player.
Uh-huh.
So they think up there in Indiana, I guess.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Jeez. Damn.
The other thing we should definitely look at, because I think it's quite beautiful. Oh, how about Iowa?
What did Iowa do?
Iowa just won a Division I Big Ten football game with 5 first downs.
Wow. Defensive scores or what?
Honestly, I don't remember. Brad was telling me about what the scores were.
Are you hanging out in Discord or something?
Yep.
I see.
Yeah, we were sitting there talking about, we wonder when this dumbass Star Wars dog is going to be available, and he just
Right. Well, yeah, we're doing some family time, some Thanksgiving stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Instead of 2-point conversion shootout in overtime, the road team should get 1 minute to plant their flag at midfield with the home team trying to stop them. Absolutely. Just like, did you see the high school football thing?
Yes, I was gonna say.
Yes, I meant to bring that up 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
That is how. Fuck flipping a coin.
So what he's talking about? There was a high school football game. Instead of the coin toss, they brought a helicopter in, and they took 2 players or 1 player from each team, put them out at center field, and from the helicopter they dropped the football. Whichever team got the football, they got to choose to defer or receive. Yeah, that is fucking cool.
Absolutely.
Just fucking awesome.
Fuck the fucking coin flip.
Yep.
That's how we should do it.
Yeah. I don't even care if they did it. I mean, instead of a helicopter, maybe just fucking fire the football out of a cannon and just go get it.
Oh, absolutely.
That would work. But they got drones too. You could drop it with a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Of course, didn't go live last weekend. We had UMass game. Didn't have much to talk about for that game. But a lot of chaos did happen last weekend too.
Yeah.
Which has led us to this point. And yeah. It's a crazy time in college football. A very strange year.
Yep.
But fun. I mean, really not the most fun for a Georgia fan. If you're listening as a Georgia fan, you know that to be true. But I mean,
if you're a South Carolina fan, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. As long as the opponent's uniform doesn't have stripes on it.
Yeah, fuck those people.
Fucking zebras.
Refs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to start using that as a slur for them. So, I'm sure everyone's already seen it 1,000 times. But I think there's a couple things that we need to look at from this South Carolina game.
Okay. I'm going to kick the fire.
Yeah, I'm going to take over here for a little bit. So, find it. There it is. There we go. Pause. Sure, this guy get the stream struck.
Creating space. After 4 straight.
Sellers on the move.
Stays alive. Sellers inside the 10. Tumbling towards the front.
Now, I'll be honest. I'm not entirely sure that. Good night, Riskit. Have a good night. Good job to LSU for finishing out. And we will see you later. I'm not entirely sure that Sellers actually got that, but I think it was close enough. And obviously, the ref standing right there called it. So,
right.
But I think the more impressive one was right here. 30-yard line.
On his feet.
No, that's the next one.
Yeah, he's out there just balling for sure.
Yeah,
he's not human.
He had a hell of a day.
Peter Woods.
Him and Rocket Sanders was having a fantastic day too.
Sanders had a good day. Sellers had a fantastic day. And this, this is what's so funny. I gave Alex Herrera, our kicker, shit this season because honestly, he cost us 2 games. He cost us the LSU game and he cost us the Alabama game. But we don't win this game without this kick, or at least we don't win in regulation without this kick.
Right.
And he nailed it. And it's a shoot. Where is it?
And there's nothing. RJ Mickens is there. There's nothing. I mean, this guy just does the same.
So he's down at 38, 40 something.
Also, I got to add to having Sam Acho on the call was fucking insufferable. But
35.
that's just me.
30-yard line, 40. Shit, that's a 40-yard kick. I mean, that's still a pretty 42. It says it in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yep.
But
Confirmed.
so obviously he makes the kick.
Long of 46
Good kick.
on the way, and Herrera.
Pretty
Makes
right
it a
down the
4-point
fucking
game.
middle.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I
then
couldn't tell if that was the center or the middle.
Yeah, here's the
Time for Sellers. Eludes the pressure. There he goes.
Oh, yeah.
Lenora Sellers again to the end
Oh, yeah.
zone.
It's making them look silly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was big time.
It's funny because as you know, I was sitting there playing.
Point game.
I'm gonna see if I can get it to. So I'm sitting there playing
What's up, Sundowners?
Time for Sellers.
Dark Souls 3
Eludes
while
Yeah.
I'm doing it, while I'm watching
There
this,
he goes.
and
Lenora
right. Oh no, just before that.
Sellers, the pressure.
That
There he goes.
So right here, I'm sitting there watching. I'm playing a little bit, and I'm like, okay, no, fuck it, we're gonna watch this. And I'm watching, and we get to about here, and all that's going through my head is get out of bounds, get out of bounds, get out of bounds, or at least get the first down and get out of bounds. So it's 3rd and 16. So all I want is to get the first down. I'm not even thinking about the touchdown.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little bit further. In fact, and it's so funny because I'm sure you, when you're watching, this kind of happens to you, where you've got like 1,000 thoughts go through your head in about 4 seconds.
Yep.
And then we get to this spot,
Raider?
and I'm like, oh, he could probably cut in and get the touchdown. And then we go another second. And I'm like, no, just go get the first down. Because this guy gets a little closer, and I'm just
North
like,
and
it's not
south,
gonna
please.
work.
North and south. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Too much east and west. North and south, please.
Yes.
And then he stops
And then
and cuts, and I go,
breaks
shit.
that dude's ankles at the top of the
Yeah.
screen. Absolutely shatters his ankles.
My whole thought is he's going to get stopped right about the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, also, we got a minute to go.
Got a
Everything's
good
gonna be
block, though.
good. Oh, yeah. And touchdown. It's that same. And here's the thing. South Carolina, for a long time, we had issues learning how to tackle. Are they not teaching tackling at other schools anymore?
Bro, that was a pretty egregious thing about the Georgia game.
Yeah.
There was a lot of missed tackles. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
And same with the Texas A&M Texas game earlier. A&M could not tackle Texas's running back. I mean, he just was like a pinball, just bouncing off of people. It was, yeah. And again, Georgia defensively, I don't know what it is. I think the defensive players are convinced that just because their uniform says Georgia, that means when I touch you, you're supposed to just fall down. But that's not the case. You actually have to do it. Yeah. Good night, Jeremy. We'll see you, buddy.
So, night, dude. So, your real nice co-host, Brad, has just sent me a picture of a pretty big catch that Clemson had. That was it. Honestly, it probably would have switched everything up for Clemson.
Right.
And then it was actually ruled incomplete after review. And I'm sitting here looking at the picture, and let me pull it up. And so it was ruled incomplete. It does look like he's just on that line. But if I remember correctly, all of the cameras are actually over here that at least ESPN or whoever was showing for the review. I don't know if they got to see other views.
Right.
But so going down that way, it looks like he's much further out than if you were to look this way.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of funny. But I do think that he is just on that line. And this is not tennis.
Very
the line
close.
is not in. So,
yeah.
But that is ballsy.
Yeah. Tiptoeing.
Thanks, Brad.
Yep. I don't know, man. Interesting day. Got to upset your rival. That's always fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Very stressful game for myself, but
Oh, yeah.
Also kind of fun there towards the end. Yeah, it was painful, and we could have lost at any moment, but it was still super cool. 8 overtimes, even though we discussed the overtime and how we don't really like this format, but nonetheless, just the game going to 8 overtimes was fucking nuts. It was very cool.
Think? Does it piss you off when they use player safety as the reason for these things?
Yeah, that's just a cop out. They just don't want them going as long as they do, like with the LSU
because that game was like 5.5 hours, and ESPN probably lost $4 million because they weren't able to switch to a different game.
Well, that game in particular was the last game of the slate anyway, so it didn't interfere with anything else. But yeah, same with the LSU and A&M, which kind of initiated the change. That was the evening game too. So the only thing it affected was maybe the local evening news that would have followed. But yeah,
Lenore Sellers forced 18 missed tackles against Clemson.
Yeah.
The only player to have more in a game this season was Ashton Genty.
Damn.
Most by a QB in a game we've recorded dating back to PFF college inception in 2014. 171 rushing yards for Sellers. 176 after contact.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wild.
Yep, he's putting in that work. Shit. Well, buddy, if you're satisfied, my phone is quickly losing life.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
we're not.
So
it's not going to be a 3-hour deal, but
yeah. Okay. So then,
plus it's getting cold.
real quick, we've got the kick.
Oh yes. Now, where were they?
They were at A&M, Texas.
So I guess that's the first question. Did they get it right?
No.
Where would you have gone?
I would have gone to Carolina, Clemson. Clemson, Carolina. So here's the thing. I 100% understand why they went to Texas A&M. It is the first time those two teams have played in I think it was 4,700 days. Totally get it. I totally get it. But again, you are going. Not only are you a football show trying to go to the best game, but you're a football show that's trying to show the atmosphere of a game. That's trying to also pick important games.
Right.
And the most important game this weekend was Carolina Clemson.
This one was pretty big for the SEC as a total, too.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it definitely was. Because it was the deciding factor for the second team. So,
right.
But
and
I
they were
think-
both playoff contending teams.
I've
Sort of.
heard from a
And,
lot of people that watched today, and I've heard from some people that were there, that the atmosphere at this one just wasn't good. It wasn't nearly what. And this is the other thing. This is now the
at
second
kickoff, it was
time.
pretty cool.
This is now the second time that they went to A&M this year. They started the season at A&M. Third?
They went for the Missouri game too.
Okay, you can't do that. I don't think that's fair.
Yep.
Like I get maybe twice, maybe something like the so they picked South Carolina LSU at the beginning of the season in week 4, I think it was. And if South Carolina loses that game and then wins out and goes to Clemson, and Clemson it's like number 5 versus number 10, you go. So South Carolina gets on twice. I get that.
Right.
But I don't think you go to the same home stadium 3 games in a season. I think that's wrong. Yeah.
Again, so for the Missouri A&M game, that was the only ranked match of the week, I believe. So I understood that, but yeah, you could use that week to go highlight a school that you haven't highlighted before or something like that.
Exactly. Just like you did with Cal.
And football talking heads, they point to A&M as one of the most kind of unique and very, very staunch in their traditions, and it's a crazy atmosphere
Midnight
and all
Yell is the gayest thing I see in football every year.
Yes, it is.
And I stand by it. And if you disagree, you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think implications wise, I'm not upset with the choice for this game. But I don't know. I don't really think Clemson, South Carolina was the place to go. I see what you're saying, but I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Okay.
But let's see if he made the kick, and let's see if it made a difference.
Yeah. So obviously the guest pickers were Dude Perfect. I think pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Though I think it was funny, Pat McAfee said all 4 of them went to A&M. They did not all 4 go to A&M. The guy right here went to TCU.
Oh.
Yeah. Ty made a shot, and he absolutely drilled it. And then the actual competitor gets up there.
Yeah, of course the Dude Perfect guy got it.
Practice kicks at the office. It got ugly.
No, that was the sandbagging that I was referring to. I got a text.
It's everything.
50-50 at best. That was pure, brother.
That was close.
That would have got over offensive line. Now,
Right. So the guy grew up in College Station, but he's actually at the Air Force Academy.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
$250,000. You're going to serve the United States of America whenever you're done with the Air Force Academy. We appreciate you.
come on, Payne. Let's go, Payne.
Kirk's just like, dude, he's getting ready to kick.
Hey, you're
Let
the
him
right guy to be
go.
doing that for America.
Yeah.
You're the right guy.
How many times are you going to make me kneel down and stand back up?
$50,000. Kirk, do you have any final thoughts for Payne here?
You sure you want to wear your hat? You're feeling the hat? Okay. All right.
I could tell he bit his tongue by not saying "let's fucking go."
Aim at the right upright.
You got that Jesus sign there.
Everyone misses left.
Everyone misses left.
Come on, dude. Come on, Payne.
You got this. You got this. You
The
got this.
douchebag's
go,
wearing
baby.
the like 1950s cardigans.
Oh,
I lost it.
Stop the kick. Stop the kick. He almost killed a
Damn.
guy. He almost killed a guy.
Yeah, he took a head off.
Keep that.
I actually missed it.
It's everything.
50-50 at best. That was pure, brother.
Was it just one attempt?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't.
Got this. Let's go, baby.
Wow, this is kind of brutal.
Yeah, what are
Here
you
we go.
doing to us?
Here we go.
Oh God,
I still don't fucking see it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I
They
don't
only,
think
looks
he
like,
got above the crowd. Basically,
yeah. They
He-
only did one.
he hit
so-
it towards the top of the ball.
Yeah.
Well,
So this College Game Day does a championship week, right?
I'm not sure.
I know they go to Army Navy at Army Navy.
Oh, well, last year they were at the SEC championship. I don't know if they're going this year.
Yeah. So where do you think they should go this year? Which of the 5 championships should they go to?
I don't think you could be wrong by going to the SEC championship. Big Ten could be interesting, I guess. Go see Oregon. Their first time in the conference of the Big Ten, playing for that championship. But you also have that same storyline with Texas and rematch. I think SEC's the play there.
So here's where I think you go. Okay.
All right.
And I've never been a big fan of this team. But I think there's something magical happening this year. I think you go to the Mountain West. I think you go to Boise State, UNLV. And I think I think you spend the time highlighting what has happened there this season that you have, at least to my knowledge, that you have not spent nearly as much time that should be highlighted. I've seen ESPN suck Prime's dick this entire season about Thaddeus Hunter, whatever his fucking name is.
Travis
Hunter, because he plays both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But who gives a shit? So your only stat is you play a lot of snaps? That's not a Heisman stat. Fuck it.
He's a pretty good player, though.
He's a very good player.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of very good players. This guy is doing stuff at Boise no one has seen a running back do in the history of the game. Up and down football. I'm not talking about he's doing stuff that no one's seen since Darren McFadden in the SEC. I'm talking about up and down football.
Yeah, I would question against who, but
sure, absolutely. But the schedule was set 5 years ago.
Yeah, but also playing group of 5, subpar.
Yeah, no, totally get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it. But again, if using the same logic, we should have seen those numbers from a Boise State guy 7 years ago playing against the same teams, but we haven't. We've never seen numbers like this.
Yeah,
we've never seen anyone close to these numbers. So I think you go to UNLV at Boise State.
Yeah,
I think it's
certainly
only right.
could. I agree with Sundowners. I was saying that earlier too. You got
Oregon, Penn State.
Penn State. First time Penn State could go because they've just been cock blocked by Michigan and or Ohio State for how many years now?
Yeah.
Like
since James Franklin got there, I think.
Right. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, look, sure, that's a good bet. A lot of people are going to watch, but I think if you're truly about showcasing the best of what football could be, I think you go to UNLV Mountain West.
Right.
And it looks
cool,
like
unique kind of place.
Brad agrees.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was thinking Big 12, I guess, for some reason. Yeah. Well. All right. Well, possibly Tuesday night we might do a reaction stream to the rankings coming out, and we will see. Keep your ears out for that. If you made it this far, all the usual things. Hit that like, hit the subscribe. Go check out Caleb over at King's Advisors. Watch him do some stuff. Appreciate everybody watching, and tell your friends.
Is your outro video the same as your intro?
You could play whichever one you want, really.
I only see the intro one. Is it Our Hero?
You can do that. I like that one.
Okay.
We can do that. All right. Good night, everyone.
Hang on.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Ronnie, good to see you, buddy. Good night.
Fucky. Okay, we'll do it the hard way.
It isn't the love of a hero, and that's why I fear it won't